on. Oh, dear. There we go. How we doing, everybody? I believe we are live. Let me know in the chat if you are around. I do believe we are. Let me just mute myself there. Where's the chat here? Will Tom smoke Cyril harder than Jones did if they fight? I don't know if they are going to fight, guys. Let's be honest. Dana said last night at the post-fight presser that John Jones versus Tom Aspinall is still going to happen. Anyway, what's going on? Happy Sunday, everybody. We just went out on a long walk with the dogs. That's why I'm a little bit late to the party. So save your shit talk, please. Went out for a long walk with the dogs. The German Shepherd is settling in nicely. Too late, champ. Well, I'm sorry, prove them wrong. What can I say? I'm here. Did about 4.5 miles. We didn't plan on going that long, you see. Let's have a look. How many steps? 12,013 steps. So that is, what's that in steps? That's about 6 miles. So there you go. Looking burnt, Bisping. Yeah, no, I am. Went to Carball last week. This time last week, I was just landing back. So yeah, I got a little bit sunburned. I'm a little bit tan, as they say in America. We say tanned in England because past tense, we are tanned. But you say tan. Whatever, who cares? Did we all watch Ian Garry beat Carlos Prates last night? I'll be honest, it was a good performance. It really was. Mike, please discuss the crowd noise in Kansas City versus Seattle with Paul. Will do, smart Everett. I will do tomorrow when we're on the podcast, of course. But right now, Paul is not here. Congrats on the new pup. German Shepherds are great dogs. Advanced breed for sure. Yeah, he's great. He has an issue, though. So he was. That's another reason why the walk took a while. He kept trying to stop and take a dump every bloody 5 minutes. Anyway, so let's talk about the fights last night. Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Hold on. Let me just bring up the page. Prates versus Garry. Wiki. Hold on. Get lost. What's he doing? Ian Garry surprised me. I thought Carlos Prates would beat him. I thought over 5 rounds he'd catch him. I thought he'd get the finish. Of course, in the 5th round, he almost did. And that was the most exciting part of the fight because it looked like Carlos, after essentially doing nothing, because he didn't really do much, did he? He got going. He got started very, very slowly. But when he did get going in the 5th round, holy shit, you know. Almost finished him. And fair play to Ian Garry, right? Because he showed good survival instincts there. It's a lot of people like to talk shit about Ian. You got to give him his props after that. What he did last night, beating him the way he did. You know, the footwork was beautiful. The shot selection was fantastic. Got to give him his flowers, so to speak. Anyway, Jacob Kroger Baker says, can you believe Mr. Manuel still hasn't got a jag? Mr. Manuel still hasn't got a jag. I don't get it. Hawkman Card says, Prates could have won if he came out the gate with more aggression. I agree. But we got to give credit to Ian Garry for the way that he was moving. The footwork made it very difficult for Carlos Prates to be able to kind of track him down, corral him against the fence and basically land anything with significance. And that was because of the footwork of Ian Garry. Also because of the takedowns. The takedowns were really nice, man. His grappling is improving all the time. We've got another super chat here as well. Kick your ass, 1YT. Thanks for the £2. Happy Ladies' Day. Is it Ladies' Day? Oh, happy Ladies' Day to all you ladies out there. I don't know how many ladies are on this chat right now, but let's have a look. Is it Ladies' Day? Ladies' Day. When do we get Man's Day? They would say, the feminists, it's Man's Day every day. Ladies' Day. Let's have a look. Bring it up here. Ladies' Day typically refers to a day, often a race course or a sports venue. Oh, is it a race day? I know it's Ladies' Day. Is it International Ladies' Day today? Let's have a look at that. 8th of March. It's not International Ladies' Day. You pricks. Anyway, get rid of that because it's not Ladies' Day. It is International Ian Garry Day, I guess, if anything. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this guy's ready to be a champion? I mean, he went up against Shavkat on short notice, beats Carlos Prates on short notice. The man's going to fly off to Canada in a couple of weeks to be the backup fighter. You know, he is sometimes hard to cheer for, let's be honest. But you got to respect what he's doing in there, man. And you got to respect the his willingness to engage and his willingness to take fights. Thoughts on Song Yadong's dong, Arnold Schwarzenegger? 0 thoughts on Song Yadong's dong, okay? Hi, Mike. Can you shout out my friend, Annie Rection? Jesus, AJ. Come on, mate. I mean, thanks for the $2, but Jesus, is that the best you've got? Shout out my friend, Annie Rection. There you go. Hope it serves you well. What a waste of £2. I agree, kick your ass. But, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Would John Jones fight Eddie Hall? I mean, Jesus Christ. Did you see Eddie Hall? He destroyed Mariusz Pudzianowski. 30 seconds, something like that. First ever MMA fight. So when you first start fighting, the adrenaline is through the roof. I remember my first 10 fights, maybe even longer. I couldn't remember what happened afterwards until I watched the fight because the adrenaline is crazy high. And obviously he's fighting Pudzianowski, who's a former 5 times world's strongest man, or maybe even more. Obviously very experienced at MMA as well. I think he was a KSW champion at one point. So he's not exactly taking on some bum, but he smashed him to pieces, man. Eddie Hearn not being happy. Why is he not happy, Matic B? John Jones needs to be fighting the matchmakers to skip Aspinall. Why? John Jones should be fighting Aspinall. It's as simple as that, and I will not accept. I will not accept anything less, as if they give a shit about what I say. Real quick, let's have a look at this fight card. So there it is. Garry beats Prates, as we know. Zhang Mingyang beats Anthony Smith. And it was sad to see Anthony go out like that, you know, there with his wife and his children. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca, just come say hi real quick. Come on, show your face. She brought me a coffee. Just show your face real quick. Say hi to the people. Come on, babe. There she is. People. There it is. Thanks for the coffee. Do I have honey in my coffee?
No.
Oh.
We were meant to be fasting today, but he got a little peckish, so he ate.
Yeah, we did. We were going to do a 48 or 72-hour fast. On the walk, I was all about it. Mm-hmm. And then I walked in and we've got tons of leftover barbecue from last night. And I was like, give me some of that barbecue.
And then he had some ice cream.
I had a spoonful.
You had ice cream.
I did? All right.
All right.
Get out of here. If that's all you're going to do, talk shit and embarrass me and make me look bad.
I'm just telling the people what happened.
You're full of shit, babe. You're a liar. Dean Maloney, thanks for the £2. Would you say Lionheart is a legend? Honest opinion. He's a legendary guy. He's a legendary father and a husband. He's a great guy. He is. He's very good at what he does. In terms of being a legendary fighter, maybe, who knows? Who knows if he'll be remembered for that? But I'll tell you what, he put on some great performances. It's easy to talk shit when someone loses because you're only as good as your last fight. But he has had some amazing performances, man. And he had a great career. He had over 60 professional fights. And I really liked the tribute that he got last night. You know, it was good to see, man. It was good to see. And then there's a lot of people online talking shit. And I don't know why. What has he done to you? You know what I mean? Hawkerman Carr says, my 5-year-old daughter, Romy, is a big fan. What's up, Romy? She got baptized today at church. Can she get a shout out? Romy, if you are watching, which I don't think you are, but if you are, happy baptism day. AJ's back with a £5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Seriously, I'm a huge fan and I'm very happy to be there. Thank you very much, Mike, for the joy you bring to me. AJ, the pleasure is all mine. What else have we got here? Marco Hernandez. When is Papa Bisping returning? I know. I got to get my dad on here. My dad's going to come out and see us soon. Shout out Jan Bisping. Sometimes he tunes in and watches these, so shout out, Dad. Yeah, we're going to bring him out soon. So when I bring him out, we'll do a live with my old man. Let's have a look at Mikey3343. Thanks for the $10. He says, who do you think Prates... Oh, why do I think Prates didn't show more urgency with the ground and pound in the final minute of the fight? And what was up with Dan Mergliata confusing the clapper for the bell? To be honest, yeah, I think we did see urgency from Carlos Prates. And he came pretty close to finishing Garry. It was just good survival instincts from Ian Garry. You know, he was moving well. He managed to get back to his feet. He was hanging on for a single leg for dear life and stuff like that. So it was more on the side of Ian Garry that was impressive as opposed to faulting Prates. You could fault Prates for the first 4 rounds. You know, he should have done a lot more. He should have looked to cut the cage off, back him up against the fence. But that's what was so impressive about Garry. He was like doing side-to-side movement, faking one way, going the other way, because he knew Prates was trying to track him down. And as I say, corral him against the fence. So there you go. There you go. Brian Shaw versus Eddie Hall MMA fight. Who do I got? Brian Shaw. Who's Brian Shaw? Remind me again. I mean, I'll tell you what, Eddie Hall smashed the hell out of those 2 little, what were they, flyweights or something? He destroyed them, and then he just absolutely battered, obliterated, destroyed Pudzianowski. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm betting against Eddie Hall anytime soon at anything. Certainly not in a weightlifting competition, and certainly not in an arm wrestling competition. All right, which costs more, Michael's artificial eye or Mrs. Bisping's contacts? She doesn't wear contacts, I don't think. My fake eye, when I got it without insurance, was... Well, how much did it cost? When I got it without insurance, it was like $3,500. But this time the insurance covered it, so it only cost $800. But I'm wearing a new contact lens in this eye. It's a hard lens. I'm just getting used to it. They are a pain in the ass. I've got a very small plastic or glass eye on my good eye. Every time I blink, I can feel it. But you might have noticed in the past, I was always sticking my finger in the eye and moving my contact lens around. So I won't be doing that anymore. Just every time I blink, it feels like I'm getting poked in the eye. Eddie Hall is very good. He is. He's a cool guy as well. I don't know him that well, but I've had Eddie Hall on the podcast a couple of times. And yeah, very cool guy. Met him at like a couple of expos and stuff. Humble dude. Seems like a great guy. From what I know of him, as I say, I haven't hung out, I haven't had dinner, I haven't been out for drinks with him and stuff. But the vibe I get is that he's a really cool guy. Am I a spender or a saver, Mike? A bit of both. A bit of both. I do like to save. I have saved very well. But now and again, it feels good to splurge and treat yourself. Cody White, thanks for the $5, says John McCarthy, pardon me, recently said Michael Jai White is a great martial artist in person, but he couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Thoughts? Well, geez Louise, that's pretty scathing from Big John there. I did a film with Michael Jai White called Triple Threat. He is a great guy. He is a great martial artist. And he is a big dude as well. So I wouldn't say he couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. We sparred. He got very tired very quickly, and he's been honest about that. I saw him on a podcast. He was talking about it, but maybe he was out of shape. But still, you know, when you're sparring full time, and I was champion of the world at the time as well, you know, so I wasn't easy. He got really tired really quickly, but I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to take a head kick off him. So I reckon he could fight his way out of a wet paper bag, no problem. Favorite sport to watch besides MMA from Peter Griffin. Favorite sport, boxing. Boxing. Good boxing fight yesterday, wasn't it? Conor Benn. Chris Eubank Jr. I was going to say Nigel Eubank. I'm tired, guys. Yeah, what a fight that was. I did a reaction video if you haven't seen it. Man, what a fight. That was one of the best boxing fights I've seen recently. It really is. Look him up. Brian Shaw is a fellow strongman. Very decorated, like Eddie's big bro kind of. Well, let's have a look. Eddie Shaw, or Brian Shaw. I know who Brian Shaw is. I know the name, and when I see his face, I'll probably... Oh, yeah, I know who this guy is. Brian Shaw. He's a big dude. There he is. We'll go with Eddie Hall. But thank you, Cemetery Hill, for the $5. Let's go back to that fight card. So Anthony Smith, sadly, wasn't to be. It's always tricky when you go into your last fight, when it's your last ever fight, and you know it's going to be your last fight. I was talking about this on the predictions video that I did. Do you push yourself to the limit? Do you apply yourself? Because you know it's going to be your last ever fight. Or are you just showing up for a paycheck? We know that Zhang Ming Yang wasn't showing up for a paycheck. And I'm not saying Anthony was. I'm sure he went into that fight with every intention of winning. But did he do the necessary work in camp? I don't know. I don't know, because it's a tricky one. I think you would struggle with the motivation. If you know 100% this is going to be your last ever fight, I'm just saying maybe you struggle with the motivation. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't. But congrats on a great career, and have a great retirement. Mikey, 3343. How did you get the Count nickname? Well, it's not a nickname, brother. It is a title, Mikey. My family, prior to the Second World War, they were counts and countesses. They were Polish aristocracy. True story. Way back in the Middle Ages, there's a book about it called The History of the Bisping Family. And we have a family crest. And on the family crest, there's vineyards and there's grapes and stuff. Because the story goes, there was going to be an invasion from some army from another country. And my ancestor climbed over a hill, over a mountain, and went down into enemy territory, counted how many campfires there was. Based on the amount of campfires there was, they went back, told the warrior in charge, the boss in charge, whatever, and based on that intelligence, they launched a successful dawn raid. And for that act of bravery, he was given the title of a count and a bunch of land. So up until the Second World War, my family was living lived in like huge mansions and stuff in Poland. But then, of course, the Germans invaded, lined all my family up against a wall, shot them all dead. My granddad made it out of there on horseback with a shotgun, shooting Germans. Made it to England. He had my dad, and I was raised in a council house in Clitheroe. So yeah, there we go. There's the story. Dung Hape, thank you for the $5. What about P. Dye going to 0? And Mr. Manuel leaving the Discord for a week to sell his bags for S&P 500. Utter pleb behaviour. Dung, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? What about P. Dye going to 0? P. Dye? I have no idea what you're talking about, mate. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of these fights. Oh, we've got to give a shout out to Randy Brown. Holy shit, Randy Brown was awesome. And I think he's got a bright future. I'm telling you, he could be a champion one day. He's massive at welterweight, and he's getting better and better all the time. I saw somebody mentioning there, which is a good talking point. The guy talking shit to Anthony in the Nebraska shirt, and then Anthony was giving him the finger. A lot of you guys are very comfortable talking shit to professional fighters. You know, I get it. You're fans. You're fans, so like you feel you're entitled to, but you know, have a little bit of respect at the same time. Anyway, Ryan, thanks for the 10 Canadian. Personal opinions aside, I don't believe Ian should be next in line for the title. Neither do I. Shavkat, Brady, or even Buckley are all ahead of him. Ian's coming off one loss over a number 13 guy. Not enough for a shot. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Shavkat is the number one contender. So if, let's just say, Bilal beats Jack, assuming that, it should be Shavkat next. Let's have a look at the rankings. You've got Usman versus Buckley. Whoever wins that one, if they win that in sensational fashion, if there's like a really good performance on either side, with Kamaru Usman being one of the greatest welterweights ever, maybe he gets the next shot. With Buckley being as exciting as he is, if he knocks out Kamaru Usman, maybe that gets him a title shot as well. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, however, Ian Garry, just to play devil's avocado, Ian Garry's going to... he's going to be there in Canada and be the backup fighter. So, you know, that does buy you some kind of grace. UFC rankings. Here we go. So, yeah, I agree, though. When you look at the welterweight division, there is a bunch of other people in front of him. There it is. There is Sean Brady. I mean, Sean Brady's number one. Sean Brady would be a nightmare matchup for a lot of people, including Ian Garry, if we're honest. Shavkat, Leon. Leon's not going to get a shot anytime soon. Kamara Usman, if he beats Buckley, as I said. Jack's getting the shot. Buckley, if he beats Usman. So, yeah. Gilbert Burns is fighting Michael Morales soon, isn't he? So... But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of contenders there. Welterweight's heating up. Heating up indeed. Liverpool won the Premier League today. All right, mate. Fucking sound that la. Anthony's a cool dude. But it's time, I am sure. Most fans wish him well. It is time. And he knows that. He knows it's time. That's why he's retiring. You know. When you start losing more than you win, 60 professional fights... That's a lot. That's a lot of walks to the octagon. That is a lot. Mohammed Rehan, I'm not going to fall for that, bro. Trying to get me to talk all racist. Come on, bro. Outcall says, Ben Eubank, the build-up, the storylines, the fight, the event. When's the last time a UFC event matched this slightly? Jones versus DC? That's a good question, but let's just talk about that for a second. That was phenomenal. The build-up to it all, as you say. The storyline with the fathers going at it in the 90s, the rivalry, and then the fight itself. Then with Chris Eubank Sr. saying he's not going to show up, and then he gets out the car and the crowd goes wild. 65,000 people there in the arena. I mean, it's just a perfect storm, isn't it? That was brilliant. It was, you know, so there's not many sporting events with that kind of backstory, is there? You know? Dunk Hape says, what about Daffs wanting to Tesla swap sawdust? Avenue for a king of the 2025. World's first rear-wheel drive events. What the fuck? Dunk Hape, I want some of what you're smoking, mate. Hi, Mike. Can you say in your trash-talking voice, this is Squid Game, Ricardo Casido is the GOAT. Patrick, you absolutely suck. All right, hold on. Let me get into it. Ricardo Casido, is the GOAT. Ricardo Casido is the fucking GOAT. Patrick, you absolutely suck. There you go. Clip it. Ryan, what happened to the days where you need a win streak to get a shot? I agree. Mike, you went on a 3-fight win streak, 4, and beat the GOAT of middleweight. I did. That's the 4th. To get a shot. Why are people like Oliveira, Kai Kara, or Ian calling for title shots? You're right. And if you notice... I never called for a title shot like that, and thanks, Ryan. Because you're right, I'd been in the division for ages. I was perennially ranked. I'd had number one contender matchups, like Ian Garry had with Shavkat. I had a number one contender against Chael. Really close fight. Even Chael Sonnen thought I won that. But for me, it was like, well, I lost. So I've got work to do. Steve, send 5 gift memberships. Let's go. Membership videos dropping every day, guys, by the way. Give me some suggestions of what you want in the membership video. I tend to do more personal stuff in the membership stuff. More behind the scenes and like family stuff and whatnot, personal shit. But anyway, so I had number one contender matchups. How many times? A few, 2 or 3. But even still, when I was winning and I went on a win streak, I wasn't calling for the title because it was like, I want to deserve it. I want to earn it. And I'd had fucking, 26 fights in the UFC before I got a title fight. But it's a different generation. And to be honest, social media and fans and whoever makes the most noise can sway things. Oh, I am George AF. I am George as fuck. Says, did you see, this is me bragging here, did you see Michelle Waterson in the new Havoc movie? She's following in your footsteps. I haven't seen her in the movie. But ask her how she got the part. Not because of me. They wanted her, but the director reached out to me wanting to get hold of a friend of the director. I forget what it was. So I called Michelle up. I'm like, hey, there's a movie part for you here. And it looks phenomenal. She showed me the trailer. She's in the trailer. The film looks really, really good. So well done to her. Just winning doesn't matter to the UFC. It's how you win. Correct. Look at Movsar. Nah, that's a fair point. Movsar, what is he? I know he's undefeated. Is it 19-0 off the top of my head? But you never know. Maybe he does get a title fight. And Volkanovski's calling for him, which is why you got to fucking love Volkanovski. You know, that's a tough matchup. And who does he call out? Undefeated, tough matchup, and not really someone popular with the fans. And that's no disrespect to Movsar. What I'm saying is that he could have called out somebody that was, you know, potentially on paper an easier fight, but with a bigger name. Parker Jackson, thank you. Made a life-changing decision recently. It came with a lot of risk. Okay, this will be good. I decided I was going to be one of the monkeys in the jungle that let go of the vine and catch another on the way down. Let's fucking go, Parker. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll give that one a little love, a little like. How did you hear that story? Did I tell it on here? Did I say it in my book? Did I say it in the documentary? What am I talking about? Well, yeah, it's a good story. It's a good story. I was given some advice and I was told once that there's two types of men in the jungle. One type of man swings through the jungle on a vine and he waits until he has hold of another one before he lets go of that vine. The other type of person in the jungle swings through and they let go and they hope they catch that vine. And what they mean is you're taking chances, roll the dice, you know. You got to take risks in life. Anyway, Ryan would have rather saw Merab versus Pantoja than O'Malley, to be honest. Neither divisions have a clear number one contender. And Pantoja deserves a shot at double champ status. I don't know about that. I mean, listen, Pantoja's great. What I'm saying is, if you look, let's go back to the rankings. If you look at the bantamweight, let me just make this a bit smaller. It's all zoomed in like a, there we go. If you look at the bantamweight rankings, which are here, Sean O'Malley is number one. Sean O'Malley's beat Piotr Jan. Merab just beat Umar. Davison Figueiredo's fighting soon. He's beat Rob Font, I think. He's beat Marlon Vera. He's beaten a lot of the competition. I've got no problem with the rematch, to be honest. I think it'll be very entertaining. Corey Sandhagen has been a little bit overlooked in that whole discussion, though, if we're honest. I booked my flight to Vegas for UFC 317. Who do you think is going to be the main event? Bro, that's the $1 million question. Anthony Wybara. That is the $1 million question. We thought it was going to be Dricus and Hamzat. Obviously, that's still going ahead. There's no leg break. There's no injury. That was a bunch of bullshit. I think it's going to be Ilya versus Islam. It's not going to be John Jones versus Aspinall. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. Cosmic Warp Rider says, strip John Jones. It's a conversation. If the fight doesn't get announced soon, it is a conversation. Tom Mandich says, we love how you never back down from any fight offer. That's why you're in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I didn't. I never did. There was only one time. There was only one time that I ever questioned a matchup and pushed back. And that's when I fought Jorge Rivera. I didn't want to fight Jorge Rivera because I wanted someone a little bit more high profile. But then he did a good job of talking a bunch of crazy shit. And we were co-main event on the pay-per-view. And I smashed his head in. Made him pay for all that shit talk. So there you go. But that was the only time I've ever questioned one. And then remember, I was meant to fight Gegard Mousasi, and then that got switched to Anderson Silva. But that wasn't, anything like that. Aaron Taylor sending love from Manchester. Thanks, buddy. Oh, you did. Flew to the States twice to watch you fight. Let's go, Aaron. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. What part of Manchester? Andrew, hey Mike, should Jones get stripped of his title for inactivity? Well, yeah, that's what everyone's talking about. It all depends. We'll get clarity on that situation pretty soon. It depends what he's going to do. Dana last night at the post-fight press conference seems pretty confident that matchup is still going to go ahead. So if he's accepting the matchup and they announce it soon, then obviously the answer is no, because he's not being inactive. But if he was to straight up just refuse to fight Tom Aspinall, then of course. But it doesn't look like that's what's going on. How does a fake story like that get so much traction in the media? I don't know, Big Mike. The Dricus du Plessis thing I think you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know, mate. It got a lot. And then of course, Dricus du Plessis never came out, and not for about 4 days, and said, mate, that's bullshit. It took him a while to respond and come out. So he was probably having a good laugh in South Africa, mate. South Africa. I can't do a South African. Mate, who headlines UFC 317? There you go. That's as good as it gets. I remember the Jorge fight. Started being a fan after that one. Yes. He was a prick. And he had it coming. I said in that fight with Jorge Rivera, I wasn't there for a mixed martial arts contest. I was there to beat the shit out of him. And rightly or wrongly, you know, I was a little bit emotionally immature back then. But that's how I was when I was always going to fight. And I think that's why people like fighters like myself and like a lot of the older generation. It's like, I used to really take it personally. And of course, it's only business. It's nothing personal. But I used to take it personally. And I used to use that to drive me in training camp. So I used it to my benefit. Anyway, the refs just beat the Lakers. I don't really follow basketball. If Dustin Poirier wins the BMF, do you think they will get rid of that title? I don't think so. I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of people love to shit on the BMF belt. The fighters aren't shitting on it. Fighters are calling out that belt. They want to compete for it. I think it adds a little bit of excitement to a card. It's great for the fighter. They got another piece of hardware to take home. It's cool, man. It's cool. Who headlines UFC 317? Thanks, John, for putting the poll up. 37%. Ilya versus Islam, of course. Jones versus Aspinall isn't even number 2. It's number 3. You guys have got Dricus versus Hamza. I was going to say Dana said last night that that's not headlining that. He could be bullshitting, but what does that achieve? You know, it could be just, it could be a little red herring, but I doubt it. So I don't think that's going to be headlining 317. But I tell you who will be there. This guy, I'll be there. UFC 317 International Fight Week. I have got a mental few months coming up. It's insane. I'm starring in 2 movies. I'm commentating all over the bloody world. I'm going to Azerbaijan, Abu Dhabi, Thailand, China, doing 2 movies, of which I'm the lead, believe it or not. I'll be in Vegas for International Fight Week. I'll be all over the bloody place. So yeah, got to get my rest, man. Got to get my rest. That's why I'm off the booze completely. And we have said this before. To be fair. But still, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Today's a new day. Poor Michael Bisping. Poor nothing, mate. I live a great life. I live a great life, riddled with neck pain, mind you. What kind of movies are you starring in? They're both action movies, of course. You know, I'm not going to do a love story, am I? You know, but one of them's like a heist. Well, it just got announced, actually, recently. In fact, we'll pull it up. Check this out. I'm very excited for this. The script is cool as hell. It's a really, really good script. Boom. Let's have a look. Atlas King, baby. Atlas King. And that is me. I am Atlas King. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. That's the good-looking bastard that is in there. They picked a terrible picture of me. That is such a bad shot. Maybe I'm being a little bit overly critical because it's me, but Jesus Christ. They didn't do me any favours with the picture there, did they? UFC fighter Michael Bisping and George Finn to lead Thriller at Cannes Market, the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah. Could have picked a better picture though, but yeah, the script is fantastic. So I'm very, very excited about that. It's a lot of prep work though. Bisping, you're the best commentator. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, buddy. Hold on, where's my cursor gone? There it is. You make a good roughie in a gangster flick, Bisping. Yeah. A lot of the time I've been the bad guy, but I'm not in this one. I don't want to say too much about it. TT Guava says, I used to be an alcoholic. The way I stopped was thinking I can always have a drink tomorrow, and those tomorrow keep coming, just keeps your head up. Yeah, no, I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that. And there's the whole thing with, oh, you intoxicated and all the rest of it. And yeah, I was pretty buzzed during that press conference because I'd had a heavy night out because George St. Pierre wasn't giving us a date, you know, and we went out and I was with my agent and some friends and it got out of hand. We're in Las Vegas. The fight wasn't even scheduled. We didn't even have a date and it got a little hectic. It did, I'm not going to lie. So that kind of gives this whole, you know, perception. But I do like a drink, I'm not going to lie. But I don't drink a lot. I don't get drunk, you know. I had a couple of friends over last night. In fact, the director of Atlas King, they came over so we could like get to know each other and do some rehearsals and whatnot. And they brought a bottle of, I think they call it cha-cha. It's kind of like a Georgian version of vodka or grappa, something like that. Gave me a bit of a headache today, I'll tell you that. All right, Mikey3343. Speaking of neck pain, are you looking into getting an artificial disc? Mate, that was the first thing they did last year. You can't, oh, there it is there. That's the artificial disc. That's the fusion that they did in 2018. The artificial disc didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. It was completely pointless. But the hospital or the clinic that did the disc replacement, which by the way was called Disc, the company's called Disc, I should have known, they were paid $135,000. And you wonder why our premiums are so high. And then they had to do 2 more surgeries where they came in through the back. And I'll be honest, I'm living my life. It is what it is. I've just accepted it at this point. But there's 0 improvements. And in fact, if anything, it's made it worse. It's made it worse. But so now and again, you just see me do this shit, you know, and complain to my wife. Oh dear. You're English and an MMA fighter. I vote for Mike Bond 007. I vote for that as well. Or at least give me, you know, I'll be the English Jaws. Remember Jaws back in the day? Mike, what was your favourite fight on the Deep Hamamatsu card last night? I didn't see that, mate. I did not see that at all. I didn't even know there was one. Should we see what's going on in the world? Are you in horrible pain right now, Bisping? Yeah, ish, yeah. Sometimes. Depends. As the day goes on, it can get really bad. In the evening, it gets really bad. So, it is what it is. You know, I've got no regrets. In fact, I've been doing a lot of this. I'm going to bring this up. Hold on. I'll play it on here. This is pretty cool, actually. I've been doing a lot of red light therapy. And with this company called Carla. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this video here. Hold on, we need some bloody sound for one. 1 second. So let me just do something here. 1 second. So yeah, what do you guys know about red light therapy? So I've started getting into it, and it has been helping, to be honest. It's been helping a lot, and it's supposed to be good for all kinds of stuff. So let's have a look here. Hold on. Why is it not bloody working? Somebody tell me this. Where's the bloody... there we go. There we go. Hold on. They took my ribs and rebuilt my nose. I've got a torn labrum. I've got a fractured back. My biggest opponent right now, of course, is the pain that I live in every single day. And I'm happy to say with Carla Red Light Therapy, I feel like I'm winning this fight. Oh, still smashing the bags, guys. Yeah, so I've been doing this red light therapy stuff, but it does seem to be helping your opponent. And I always had the mentality to push myself. It's a great video, this though. I absolutely pushed myself to the limit, but there was 0 recovery protocol. I had a great career and I built a great life, so I've got 0 regrets. But one of the side effects is now that I do live in pain. And since I've been using Carla Red Light Therapy, that is helping me manage that so much better. There you go. You get the idea.
And I truly do feel like I'm back to my...
Yeah, so red light therapy, yeah, I've been doing a lot of that stuff. It's supposed to be good for your skin. My wife swears by it. Good for your skin, helps you sleep well. Apparently it stimulates the mitochondria in the cell, which kind of brings a lot of healing qualities with it. That's the science for you. Don't expect me to understand that. Cemetery Hill says, I know more about red light districts. Good one. Mike Tyson and Mike Bisping both broke their back spinal. I did break my back. Do you know what? I probably did it. When I did that bloody... when I fell off the air hockey table. Excuse me. When I fell off the air hockey table. Can we play that, John? John's our editor in the background. John Brannigan, by the way. Give him a follow on social media. Bisping falls... This is probably where I did it. Because when I went to see the doctor, he's like, yeah, you've got an old fracture there. It's from years ago and it's kind of healed up. That's why you're in pain. Maybe this is what did it. If I play this, John, will we get demonetized? Because I hope not, but I'll give it a go because we've come this far. Oh, here he is. Here's John. What's he going to say? It should be okay. Just keep it short. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, sir. Hold on. Let's have a listen. This is embarrassing. It's funny though. I don't give a fuck. It wasn't embarrassing. Not in the slightest. This is only 33 seconds, so we should be fine with this. Hold on. Oh, piss off ads. Bloody ads. Shouldn't get demonetized for this then. We're showing the bloody ads. It's Daily Motion as well. I used to use Daily Motion quite a bit back in the day. Right, 1 out of 1.
Bisping ends up winning game 4, 7-4, and wins the coach's challenge.
Hold on, wait for it. What a bell end. Oh.
1 minute you're celebrating, I'm the king of the world. And then you're laying on your ass looking like a jackass in front of millions.
Spinal. That's probably why I broke my back or fractured it. Oh, shit. I fractured it. Oh, dear. Funny. Good times. Good times. Ultimate Fighter back in the day. Anyway, Doug Hape is back with another cryptic message, I am sure. Says, if you were going to Port Cruise on Easter Sunday, would you take an RS500 Cozy or a 306 diesel turbo? Also, which do you think you'd pull more birds in? Well, the RS500... I mean, I drive an RS7. What is the RS5? Is that a Peugeot? It's a Peugeot. The Peugeot 306 diesel turbo. No way, man. We ain't going in a diesel turbo. We ain't going anywhere in a Peugeot, mate. Peugeot. Yeah. You don't get those in America. It's a French car, for anyone that's wondering. I think you pull more birds in the RS500 Cozy. Anyway, you're a mad bastard. Did it hurt when you fell down? It didn't hurt. I swear to God, I jumped back up like immediately. And everyone assumed, and Dana came over, was like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just solid, guys. I'm just that hard. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so it didn't hurt. Amused, the missus probably brought Michael's back after she saw him wrestling with Nina Drama. She's not insecure, guys. Hi, Bisping, huge fan from Spain. Could you say hello to my friend, Zach Mike, OC? He is a huge fan of you. Thanks so much. You legend. Let's go, Diego Suarez. Diego Rez 84. Hello to your friend, Zach D. Mike. You're not, I don't know where you're from. You're in OC, you're in Orange County. Hello. Huge fan of yours too, buddy. Did you talk the fights already? That's a good point. That's what we're supposed to be doing, isn't it? Not waffling. Utter nonsense. Boom, here we go. Back in the room. Abus Magomedov beats Michel Pereira. What do we think about that? I mean, Michel Pereira's got to work on his conditioning. He's very, very, very talented. Incredibly athletic, you know. But his gas tank really lets him down. Abus Magomedov, not an easy man to beat either. Randy Brown, phenomenal performance. I'm a big fan of Nicholas Dolby as well. Nicholas Dolby and Randy Brown, they might be two of the nicest guys in all of mixed martial arts. I'm telling you, the pair of them are just phenomenal. They really are. And fair play to Nicholas Dolby. I mean, it wasn't the smartest thing. He was going at Randy and just like standing in the pocket and trading. I thought Dolby would try and use his wrestling because he's a good wrestler. He's got well-rounded skills. But he kind of just said, fuck it. Let's go for it. And he gets clipped. Nasty, nasty knockout. So well done, Randy Brown. Commiserations, Nicholas Dolby. Class act. Not getting younger, though. Ikram Alaskarov. Too much for Andre Muniz. Muniz is, I don't know, he's good when he's in control. When he starts to get a bit of adversity, starts to wither up a little bit. So yeah, I mean, there's the main card for you. I went through the main and co-main before. Zhang Ming Yang. I'm telling you, keep an eye on that name. Zhang Ming Yang's going to do good. In fact, hold on. This was classic. Or did I delete them? I sent some good stuff to myself before for a little video, but I deleted the emails. God damn, you prick Bisping. I was going to play them for you. But yeah, Zhang Ming Yang, he's a son of a gun, man. That sounds... He's the son of a gun. You know, that sounds like it could be whatever. He's a good fighter, is what I was saying. Dolby's damn 40 and still getting better. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nicholas Dolby, 40 years old, still going strong, but he didn't get the job done last night. Can Khalid Magomed be ranked? What does Kilab? Good try there, JV165. You know, I don't know what you get out of that. But still, if the UFC made the pay-per-view $10, but I can still watch it illegally for free online, what do you think I'm going to do? I don't know, mate. I don't know. But the pay-per-views aren't going to be $10 anytime soon, so just forget about that. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe they go to Netflix or whatever, but to be honest, I don't mind paying. You know, and granted, you know, a lot of people are on much tighter budgets. But last night, for example, Eubank versus Benn. We got to talk about that, by the way. Eubank versus Benn. What was that? $25. But I had to sign up to DAZN. I used to be with DAZN, but I cancelled my membership. So I had to re-sign up, $30 a month, and then pay another $25 for the fight. But I tell you what, that was worth it. That boxing match last night was fantastic. I thought that Benn was phenomenal. He was very quick. He was very aggressive. There was some wasted movement. There really was. Eubank took his time. I thought he might start to struggle because of the weight cut and stuff like that. But thanks, Peter Jackson, by the way. But he was really good. And the way that fight ended, the way Eubank was backing him up against the ropes, and let this be a lesson for any young up-and-coming fighters that are maybe watching this right now. Look at what Eubank did against Nigel Benn. In fact, look what they both did. But they didn't fall into a clinch. They fought and competed right in the pocket, tight, swinging, wild, aggressive hooks and combinations without falling into each other and hugging and then the referee having to separate them. And the reason I say that is a lot of younger fighters go forward, they get aggressive with the feet, they swing and they fall over their own feet and they end up in a clinch situation. And then they get clinched against the fence, and then they get turned, then they get maybe taken down. It drives me crazy. You've got to be in control of your feet. I don't think fighters are focusing enough on their footwork. There's a little rant. Having said that, we have a shot, we have a shout, we have a super chat even from Diabolical Billy. What's up, Billy? Eddie and Puds scrapping like two hippos on the Discovery Channel. Jesus Christ. David Attenborough on the mic whispers, observe the majestic walruses in their natural habitat, desperately slipping each other for dominance. UFC 265 kilos. Yes, this is an interesting question. Should there be a super heavyweight division? Yeah, I don't know, mate. He was asked about fighting Francis Ngannou, Eddie Hall, And he said, no, not really interested in that. But he did say that he is kind of interested in signing with the UFC. Obviously, he'd have to lose some weight. Big time, because he's a big fella. He's a big old boy. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'll answer my own question. I'll tell you why they haven't got a super heavyweight division. Because it'd be terrible. You know, it's hard enough in the heavyweight division having like elite guys. You know what I'm saying? So bringing in a super heavyweight division, there's not many people that they could fill it with other than guys that are maybe, you know, either overweight or guys that are on juice. You know what I'm saying? So there's not really a need for it. Yeah, there is some people that are anomalies, that are just gigantic by nature. You know, like Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Jesus Christ. In his prime, he was massive. He was massive, and he used to fight at super heavyweight. I remember Antonio Bigfoot Silva, Junior, as we used to call him. I used to train with him. He came over to England to the gym I was training at back in the day. In fact, when I joined this gym, he was the first person that I sparred with. Antonio Bigfoot Silva, if you're not familiar with him, he was fucking massive back in the day. He was gigantic. He was like, I don't know what he was. He was like 170 kilos or something. I don't know what, maybe I'm exaggerating, but he was massive. And he was definitely juiced out back then. But they advertised on Cage Warriors Forum for some sparring partners. Big guys only need apply. And I thought, well, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm fighting at light heavyweight. So I went down there to do some sparring and I walked in, bearing in mind, I'd only had 2 or 3? I'd had 2 or 3 MMA fights back then. So I was just starting my career. And I walk into this gym where I'd never been, and there's Antonio Bigfoot Silva, 6'5", 6'6", 7, like this, head that big, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, who's flown from Brazil and training here, and he's knocking out all the heavyweights in England, and I'm volunteered to spar him. Fucking hell. That was a baptism of fire, let me tell you that. That was a, you know, but we had some good training. Anyway, what questions we got? Hughes Ty still on the roster though. I don't know what that is. Let's have a look at the MMA news. Let's have a look. So, news, boom. Eddie Hall obliterates. He did obliterate him. Eddie Hall issues statement. Oh, let's have a look. Is this back of the head? Because I saw some people saying the shots were to the back of the head. I don't think he was doing it on purpose. He was just trying to do damage, you know. Sometimes that happens. Let me just drag this over here. Issue statement, illegal move in 27 seconds. Oh, Jesus Christ, pull it over this way again. There we go. Look at this. Ads. He wobbled his Polish counterpart with a thunderous right hand. I'm sorry for hitting you in the back of the head. It happens. He didn't do it on purpose. He was in a blaze of aggression. That's a lot of bullshit story. But fair play to Eddie. Bloody pop-up ads on everything drives me fucking crazy. Am I doing the Contender series alongside Mike Oxlong? I will be doing it. I'll be doing it alongside the regular people. Paul Felder, Laura Sanko, Brendan Fitzgerald. I don't know if we'll be seeing the debut of Mike Oxlong though. 80% of the shots were borderline. They might have been borderline. We'll definitely not see Chandler level illegal moves accidental. Yeah. Old Chandler. Anyway, let's have a look at some more MMA news. What else have we got? It's all about Eddie Hall, which is bloody crazy. Are we on news? We are, yeah. Dustin Poirier announces the fight. Who do you think wins that, by the way? Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Come on. Who takes that? 1 for Dustin Poirier. 2 for Max Holloway. And is anyone surprised that this is the matchup? Of course, that was the matchup. Of course. Who can't love Felder? Exactly. Felder's a top guy. Catches both on the Believe You Me podcast tomorrow. By the way, in the poll, who did you think won? Chris Eubank, 70%. He did. Eubank won. But Ben did pretty good. He should be proud of himself. So 1 was for Dustin Poirier, 2 was for Max Holloway. It's kind of even. It's kind of split down the middle. You know, it's tricky, isn't it? Because Dustin Poirier's beaten him twice. Dustin Poirier was Max Holloway's debut in the UFC. Submitted him via armbar. Second fight was for the interim title. And it's a pretty good fight, but Dustin beat him on the judges. Now we go forward a few years, and the exact advantage that Dustin had over Max Holloway back in the day is now going to bite him in the ass. And what do I mean by that? Well, Max Holloway, when he had that fight, what was he, 20 years old? So he's still growing into his full body, developing his man strength, for want of a better expression. Whereas Poirier was a few years older, with more experience. Now, Poirier's, what is he, 36? A lot of miles on the clock. That's why he's having his final fight. You start to slow down, the wear and the tear, the injuries, surgeries, all that stuff. Now the fact that Max is the younger guy, that's going to help him. So it's just kind of weird, isn't it? And then, of course, when you look at the fight that Max had against Justin Gaethje, you know, that one kind of says, well, of course you can compete with Dustin. I'm not saying Dustin can't beat him. That's not what I'm saying. And I think they're both going to stand there. I think they're both going to do this shit and just swing down. And I think Poirier said that, didn't he? Which would be awesome. It would. Oh, my neck. Ah, dear. What else? Oh, Sopranos bounce. No, you prick. The USB has not landed yet. So this guy here, Sopranos bounce. He's a mate from back home. Great Harvard in the house. I used to DJ, as you know, and my laptop got wet. I spilt a fucking pint of water all over my laptop. The laptop was destroyed. I didn't have it all backed up. I lost thousands of pictures, which I was devastated about when the kids were younger and stuff. We got a lot of them ones on the other computer, but I lost tons of pictures of like my fight career and stuff when I was just starting out. Just a lot of pictures in general, but also thousands and thousands and thousands of tunes from my DJ careers. Obviously, I've still got all my vinyls upstairs, but all the vinyls that are now in digital format, and then I had a bunch of others that I didn't have on vinyl, and you can't get them again. You can't download them, or you can't buy them places. So anyway, some real friends, Cheese, have been sending me some of my old DJ friends, shout out DJ Sempi in the house, have been sending me some USBs with the tunes on. And this guy, Cheese, has said that he'll send the USB. Said that fucking 2 months ago, mate. No, the USB has not landed. Anyway, back to MMA. What else have we got? Let's have a look at the news again. That was a good little tangent. Matt Brown is still shocked CM Punk actually fought in the UFC. Yeah, so am I. I mean, I guess you got to try it. Take one of these wrestlers. You never know. I mean, I know. We all know. We've seen it. But it was a fun experiment. We've seen it with wrestlers. We saw it with James Toney, the boxer. He got destroyed off Randy Couture. Oh, and now we've got this guy. What do we think about this? Patrick Evra to make his mixed martial arts debut. I think he's 43 years old, isn't he? Let's have a look at this. I think he played for Man United. I'm not the biggest football fan. I can't pretend to be. He wants to... Let's have a look at this. 43 years old. Has been training since 2016 with Patrick Doumbé. Their opponent, Evra's bout at the Accor Arena, isn't announced. 81 caps for France. Yeah, I mean, fair play to the guy. He's clearly an athlete, but 43 years old, mate, is a little bit late in the day to be making your MMA debut. Joshua Slezak, thank you, sir, says he watched me as a kid. Congratulations, Mikey. Cheers, Joshua. Hope you're well, mate. I appreciate that very, very much. But yeah, this guy, this footballer, getting into MMA. Now, remember, when we say footballer in America, I don't know where you guys are from, we're talking soccer, right? They're not exactly known for being the toughest guys. That's why I never played a lot of football when I was a kid, because they were pussies. They were pussies. I hated it. I hated it. You know, when they get a little fake foul, and I know what they're doing. They're trying to game the system, and they writhe around in agony. Oh, holding their knees and shit. You know, so I didn't like it. So yeah, and I'll be honest, he doesn't look like he could fight. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm basing that purely on the jawline. You want to look at someone's jaw. You know what I'm saying? Ajmani, what's up, Ajmani? Rampage is on date right now on Kick, lol. Is he? What is that? Is that like a dating show? Rampage is a crazy bastard. Yeah, fair play to him. No, I wouldn't go on it. I'm a married man. Everett versus Esbin, go, go, go. Peter Jackson, keep him coming, brother. Yeah, I'll take it. I listen, if there's one fight I would take, it's against a 43-year-old former football player. Yeah, who's making his debut. One eye, no knees, bad neck. Fucking let's go. Slippers £1 million. Your boy's back. Suarez beat Everett without even fighting. I don't know what the reference is there, but anyway, we'll do another half an hour or so, and then I'm going to go live my life. Let's have a look. Vladimir Klitschko sends a strong message to Joe Rogan. Requests meeting to talk like free men. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm going to leave that one alone. We're not getting into all the politics and stuff. And I don't know enough about it, to be honest, to even make a comment. You'll notice I stay out of all of that shit. And, you know, people just need to just be honest. I don't know enough. I don't know about that. I'm not a political commentator. I'm not going to wade in on the war in Ukraine and Russia's involvement and Palestine and Gaza and all that shit. It's awful. It's awful is what it is. We'll leave it there. Got anything planned today, Mike? Well, Guava, I've done my video for tomorrow already, which is rare. John, my editor in the background, will say, that's rare. Normally I leave it last minute and drive him crazy. I've had my steps. I've done my steps, took the dogs out for a long walk. So yeah, I've done that. I'm going to do a little bit of rehearsals because I've got 2 movies coming up soon. So I'm going to look at the script. I'm going to read the script and take some notes and stuff like that. And then I'm going to sit down, watch a movie with Lucas, maybe. I'm going to try and get him to watch a movie. He always tries to get away though. So yeah, maybe watch a movie and get an early night. I've eaten my 1 meal of the day. I'm dieting now. I was going to do a 72-hour fast, as I said before, but I got in and I was starving, so I fucked the fast off. But I've had 1 meal. I had some leftover barbecue with a bit of coleslaw and 2 eggs. So there you go. That's me done for the day, boys. I am fasting. And I didn't eat until almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's go. 2 movies coming up. Got to get this fucking 6-pack popping, boys. All right, Diabolical Billy's back. Thank you, Billy. Patrick Kilvert jumping into MMA must have been necking too many enhanced Dutch cakes. Bloke's higher than one of Elon's bloody spaceships. Who's Patrick Kilvert? I don't know who Patrick Kilvert is. Everett versus Bisping. I'll take it, buddy. I'm gonna give you. What is the benefit? Is there any benefit? You know when you guys do super chats? Because I'm not like some YouTube guru, MMA guru. Yeah, I'm not, I don't know too much about this shit. If I like your super chats, like I'm going through it now and I go, boom, and I give you a little love. Do you guys want that? Does it matter to you lot? I mean, I'll do it if it does, but I'm just not very good at this game. Dean Maloney, oh my God. Would I let him watch Rita, Sue and Bob too? Dean, ha! I'll give that one a little like. Give me a 1 if you are familiar with the film Rita, Sue and Bob 2. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. It's a belter. It's a belter. It's a belter. Let me know if you've seen that. My God. Cemetery Hill couldn't care less. Well, see, here's something to talk about. You don't, all right, you couldn't care less about liking the things. Yeah, okay, good. 1, yeah, 1. They all like it. Rita Sue and Bob too. There's some funny scenes, man. There's some funny scenes. It's crazy because it wouldn't get made in today's day and age. No way. Don't think I've ever seen you with a calm face, Joshua Slezak. I'm liking it. Powerbomb Club says, advice to stay composed when talking to a crowd. You got a right laugh out of my balls up at my Paddy MVB Q&A. See the link to it in the regular chat. You got a right laugh out of my balls up. Advice to stay composed. Well, think about what you're going to say first. Well, I don't do that though. But if you're worried about it and you're not unnatural and you want to stay composed, have a think about what you're going to say. Tommy boy, my birthday, Mike. Celtic champions, love you. Let's go, buddy. Happy birthday, Tommy boy. What else we got going on? How long have we been going here? We've been going for a while. Hour, 5 minutes. I was only going to jump on for 20 minutes. Half hour. What else is going on? Irish MMA is rejoining a resurgence, but will it ever recapture? Will it ever Irish MMA is enjoying a resurgence, but will it ever recapture mainstream footing? Well, Ian Garry's doing a good job of that. I don't think they're going to sell out Croke Park with Ian Garry. I don't think they're going to do stadiums. They ain't going to do any of that shit. People have been calling for stadiums for so long, and it's still yet to happen. So, yeah. Is it Mike's birthday? It's not my birthday, Dill Roberts. Is Rebecca around? Callum! Come here. Don't worry, I'm not roping you in.
Hi.
Come say hello to the chat real quick.
What's up, chat? What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, get on your knees.
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
Beg for
He
forgiveness.
says that all the time.
Beg for forgiveness.
What for?
Right, we need to talk about this.
In front of 1,000 of my
Yeah.
closest friends, we don't. I don't think we do. I think in front of my 1,000 friends, we
I'm
do.
joking.
I'm heading out anyway, though.
Where you going?
Just smash thing.
The smash thing?
Yeah.
All right, then get out of here.
I'll get out of here.
You're a prick. You know what I was going to talk about, don't you?
I do have
Stop
people's feelings of
stealing. Right. Stop taking people's leftover food.
I apologize.
Stop. No, but I told you on Friday about it. And there was loads of barbecue left over.
You know one's better than the other.
Go on, get out of here. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, so obviously in America, I think they do it in England these days, but you know, the takeout, or when you go to a restaurant, you don't finish it, you bring it home in a to-go box or whatever. Anytime we do that, he just helps himself and eats it all. So we've had a good word with him. Me and Beck went out, because it was his birthday. We went out to a restaurant. We went to the mall to find him something to eat. We went to a restaurant. The food was lovely. Couldn't eat it all. Brought it home. I was looking forward to it the next day. Oh, go in. It's gone. He's eating it. He's helped himself to it. And he does it all the time. So I said, listen, you've got to stop doing that, okay? You've got to stop doing that. It's disrespectful. What does he do? He's done it again. Done it again. Anyway, whatever. It's not exactly crime of the century. If you could rematch one person, who would it be? If I could rematch one person, who would it be? See, that's a good question. Who would you want it to be? I mean, I was going to say Luke Rockhold because we're 1-1. You know what I'm saying? So that seems like only fair. But it's not really... I've got no desire to fight him again. And I'm not doing this to just look at myself, but let's just go through who the what was that a minute ago? I just saw something there. Hold on. Oh, there it is. We were talking about that before. Fled Poland. Anyway, that's not what I was looking for. I saw something that was interesting to me. Anyway, whatever. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go back down here. Oh, and I've paused the bloody chat as well. So let's have a look. Someone I would like to fight again. I mean, George St. Pierre, 100%, because I had busted ribs. Kelvin Gastelum, because I shouldn't have been in there for the first place. Dan Henderson, been there, done it. Rocco, been there, done it. Anderson, been there, done it. Tally's Light, Seabed Dollaway, Kung Lee now. Tim Kennedy, won't mind slapping him about. Alan Belcher. Vitor Belfort's another one. Chael Sonnen, no bad beef there. Vanderlei Silva, I was robbed on that one. Won't mind getting that one back. He was juiced out as well, as we know. So it turns out there's quite a few. Did I see Ian Garry's 3-fight plan? I did. For anyone that hasn't seen it, Ian Garry has a 3-fight plan. The 3-fight plan is he beats Bilal Muhammad, becomes champion of the world. Then he defends against Islam Makhachev because Islam's going to come up to 170. He becomes the pound-for-pound greatest fighter on the planet. Then, after beating Islam, he then takes on Shavkat Rakhmonov and eradicates the loss and becomes the greatest fighter that the sport has ever seen or heard of. It's a good plan on paper. It's a good plan. Shoot for the stars. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy if he did that? I don't think he will. I don't think he'll beat Islam Makhachev. I don't think he'll beat Bilal. But I thought that Carlos Prates would beat him. And I was wrong. And he was great last night. I'm telling you. Yeah, it would have been nice to see a finish. And yeah, you know, it's a very cautious performance. But it's not easy to do that. Joshua Slezak says, I'm kind of shocked that you said my name right. You and Gordon Ramsay need to create a show. You can fit in anywhere. Well, thank you, Joshua. Appreciate that, buddy. Very kind. How do I see Usyk Dubois 2 going? Although Usyk is more skilled, he looks like he's slowing, in my opinion. Yeah, he might be. What is Usyk? He's pushing 40 these days, isn't he? Dubois did all right the first time. Obviously, there was that low shot, wasn't there? I love Usyk, though. I think Usyk probably takes it. Oh, my neck's... It's building. Sitting here in this position is what does the neck. So I'm going to wrap this one up real soon, guys. But this has been all right. You know, some streamers sit on here fucking 24 hours a day, man. They live on here. It's mental. I don't know how they do that. I guess they haven't got much of a life. I've got 3 kids. I've got a wife. I've got a million other things to do. I've got a million other jobs to do. So I like to jump on here every now and again when there's something to talk about. Do a little live. And it's good for the subscribers. It's good for the members. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the membership program, then what are you doing? Give me some ideas for some membership videos. The member videos are so much easier as well. They're easier for me to do. You know, because when we do it as a non-member video, we're trying to get views, you know, and then John does like a really fancy edit and it takes him ages. So there's a lot of work. Whereas the membership videos, I don't give a shit about getting views, but I can be myself. I can talk freely, you know. I can be myself, you know what I'm saying? And you can say your real opinions as opposed to having to, like, you know, be careful with what you say. Anyway, questions. Eddie Hall in the UFC, no heavyweight limit. Hey, I'd love to see it. I think Gary is the champ within the next year and a half. He just might be. When you're next coming to Clitheroe, mate? Charlie Yates, I don't know, but I'll let you know when I do. Probably for Christmas, if I'm honest. I'm all over the place. I was going to come for summer. I wish I could. I want to see my mum. I want to see my dad. But I can't make it, man. I'm all over the place. I've got these 2 bloody movies to do. I'm off to Thailand teaching a seminar. I'm going off to China. I'm going to Azerbaijan. I'm going to South Africa. I'm going to Abu Dhabi. I'm going to Saudi Arabia. It's mental. I think Buckley smokes Usman at this point in time. Yeah, I mean, it's a conversation. And it'd be sad to see. Could you imagine if Buckley goes out there? Welcome to the club, Joseph Bruce. Rebecca! Do you want to come here? I forget it. Give us a woo. She did it. Did you hear it? That's what you get when you sign up. You get a personal woo from Rebecca. Granted, it might not be a Bruce Buffer cameo, but you get a woo from Rebecca as well. Max A should start and make a career in MMA, meaning the oldest, Augustin Roche. The oldest you could be, I don't know, mate. It all depends. Cemetery Hill, welcome to the club. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, mate. If you're wondering, has time passed you by before you can start in MMA? I mean, if you're in your 30s, give it a go. I'm assuming you're not in your 20s. If you're in your 20s, you got loads of time. Obviously, the younger you start, the better, but not always. So the younger you start, the better. But if you're in your 30s, it's not ideal, but you can still do it. And anyway, listen, swing through the jungle and let go of the vine. You've got to take some chances. You know what I mean? You don't want to sit around. This is what I always said to my dad, because my dad said to me when I was going to start doing this, and MMA wasn't what it was today. This is 2002 or 2003. No one had hardly heard of MMA. And I quit my job and I moved down to another city. And I had 2 babies, essentially, at home and a wife. And my dad said, why do you want to do this? And I said, well, I don't want to be sitting at some pub 20 years from now thinking, what if? You know what I mean? What if? So give it a go. I didn't want to be sitting there going, fuck, man, what if I'd started training? And I'll tell you what, if I hadn't have started training and applying myself, and then the UFC blew up to what it is today, oh my God, I'd be so angry at myself. If I waited around for another 10 years or so, 2014, and the UFC was popping, I would have been like, you're a fucking prick. I was going to do it when I was younger, but I was too old now. So give it a go, guys. Give it a go. Jason Carney, as always, with a very generous super chat. Hope you're well, Jason. He gifted 5 memberships as well. Jason, you're very generous, man. You're very generous. So claim your memberships from the one and only Jason Carney. Bisping, how delusional is Anthony saying his opponent would be very beatable if he was younger? That's what it's kind of how a fighter's ego works. I understand why you would say that, but it's just kind of how it works. Mike, how are celebrities asking from a British council estate person? I don't understand the question. See you, Carl. Mike, who am I picking for the Usman versus Buckley fight? I don't know. I don't think I'm commentating. Excuse me, repeating there. Burping. I don't know. Usman versus Buckley is a really interesting fight because you got to think Kamaru Usman looked really good against Shavkat. Yeah, not Shavkat, Hamzat. He got dominated in the first round. Second round, he might have stole it. Third round, he definitely, I think, from what I recall, he won. So it could have been a draw, I remember. But he hasn't fought since then, and that was about 20 months ago. And he's getting older. And Buckley's a son of a gun, man. He's an explosive, angry, good, talented fighter. So I don't know, man. Cook versus Buck. I like it, Joshua. I'll take it. It's the Cook versus Buck show. All right. Saying the Magomedov Burner, when you're coming back to Sydney, I don't know. Hopefully, the next time the UFC go to Sydney, I hope they hire me. I hope I get to go. Sydney's one of my favourite cities on planet Earth. Zhang Ming Yang is a beast. Full respect to Anthony. You're absolutely right. Right, guys, I've done an hour, 20 minutes. So I'm going to go. It's almost a shock that Prates couldn't finish Gary in the last minute. He was close, man. He was trying. He was trying. Mike, you big shit house. Long time fan. Hope you're well. Cheers, Kev. Someone clipped that. You still close with Anthony Lionheart Smith? He called me... When was it? Last week? He called me. We had a quick chat. I wished him the best for his fight. See you later, GOAT. Well, we'll see you later. I know Saeed Nurmagomedov. You've said that last time. Saeed Nurmagomedov burner. I looked in a hurry. I think you were going for a run. You looked angry. Yeah, I was. Because sometimes, you're just trying to live your life. And you're just trying to go for a run. And I don't have much time. But you can't be a dickhead to people. And it gets a little frustrating, you know what I mean? You just want to zip out, mind your own business, live your life, go for a run, and come back, shower up, and, sometimes you're in a rush, man. Sometimes you're in a rush. But I hope you're well saying the Magomedov's burner. Gary just looked tired to me. I don't know, man. I don't know if he was tired. He was hurt in the fifth. Because that's another thing that people don't talk about with Ian Garry. The fucking cardio on this man. The cardio is phenomenal, right? The cardio is phenomenal. Mikey headbutted me in Perth. I don't think I did, mate. Gotta watch some of the membership videos now. Boom, let's go. The fans love you, Mike. You're a global heartthrob. Well, Dill Roberts, come on. Michael, we've had Izzy and Alex come over from Glory Kickboxing. Do you think other kickboxers from other organisations would do well in the UFC? I was a kickboxer from another organisation. Granted, Waco. Not exactly Glory or anything like that. But it was kickboxing. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm out of here. Believe You Me podcast. Tomorrow, me and Paul Felder will be having a good laugh. Might even get a couple of guests on. What do you think about that, by the way? Because when we have guests on, sometimes it flows or like true conversations. Disturbs the true conversation, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Believe You Me podcast, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. And yeah, all that good shit. Tell Rebecca I'll reply to a text later. I'm busy at the moment. All right, I'll let her know, pal. I'll let her know. Oh, dear. David Nilsson, you enjoy. Membership vid comments going to be popping. I'm going to do one right now for the members. Good name for a show, Bisping in the Shit Show. All right, Diabolical Billy. Jesus Christ. I've had Aspinall a few times. Guests are good, just don't get Bilal on. You guys are absolutely... Bilal's a nice guy, man. Bilal is a nice guy, and John has linked the podcast up there at the top of the chat. So you've got no excuse to not subscribe, no excuse to not be there tomorrow. Jesus. A healthy mix of guests and solo episodes are perfect. Guava, you're right. Right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for being a good sport.